This is a video for people who grew up bullying themselves. There are many reasons that you might end up doing that, right? Not feeling like you fit in anywhere. Not feeling like you fit in anywhere. I should say first, I was one of these people. I still struggle with it a little bit. I'm a lot better than I used to be. It's still one of those shadows that likes to creep up every once in a while. There are many reasons that someone could end up bullying themselves, right? And it's a lot harder to change that because you can't escape yourself. You can't escape yourself. Imagine if you're someone that had a bully in middle school, high school. Imagine being with that person 24 hours a day, every day. And the thing is, you start doing it because you think it's for your own good. You think if you are mean enough to yourself that you'll change. But all it ends up doing is pushing you deep down within yourself, and you never open up to anyone because you've convinced yourself so thoroughly that no one would want you because you don't even want yourself. You've pushed yourself to annihilate yourself. You've pushed yourself into a corner where you aren't willing to be you, even around you. And you do it to try to change, but it isn't the kind of change that sticks. It isn't the kind of change that you want. I hope that if you see this, and if you're still struggling with this, it can help you gain some perspective. There are some, I want to say this to make it known that there are reasons people keep doing it. I lost over 200 pounds by bullying myself, by waking up every morning and looking in the mirror and saying I was a piece of shit, and saying that I had to fix it, that there's no way anyone could love me, that I mean, it's hard to think about now. but it worked. And it wasn't a fun process, but it also saved my life. I think that's why it's so hard for me to let go of it. And why it keeps creeping back up. And why I keep trying to make myself digestible for other people, because I've always tried to make myself digestible for myself. Which sounds strange. But it is, right? When you don't ever feel like you fit in anywhere, you think that you're the problem. And the reality is there is no problem, right? You're not a problem. Your environment isn't a problem. It just is what it is. Maybe you don't fit in that environment, but that doesn't make that environment wrong. It doesn't make that environment a problem. It just makes it the wrong place for you. And if you have to be there for the time being, well, you just have to make the most of it. I don't know if people who bully themselves also have very high expectations for themselves, but I would assume so. Maybe you do it out of a sense of pushing yourself. And I can say something that taught me is that I don't think anyone can ever be as mean to me as I was to me. I really don't think they can. And that's not a challenge. I don't want people to try, but there's a special way that you know how to hurt yourself. Yeah. There's a special way that you know how to hurt yourself. And that's no way to live. That's no way to live. I hope that if you watch this, it can help you realize that it isn't a way to live. Because I've been learning that. I've learned that. But it keeps coming up because I have to acknowledge the good that it did for me too. I have to acknowledge that it did save my life. I have to acknowledge that when no one else would push me to achieve greater things, I did it for me through bullying myself, through saying I'd never be good enough and I'd prove myself wrong. When no one else held me to expectations, when no one else believed in me, I would push myself to into so much pain that the only choices were to give up or push out of it, burst out of it, right? To completely defy all expectations or to completely give in. And parts of me wouldn't let me give in, wouldn't let me give up. And it's a beautiful thing. But you shouldn't push yourself to that. The reality is, you should have people around you that expect you to do great things, but won't ridicule you if you make a mistake, but won't ridicule you if you take a back step. But they might bring it up. They might say, hey, this is something you're really working towards. Why have you taken a step back? They might help you to find the right question for you to ask yourself so that you can get back on track. And I think people who are so hard on themselves, it's because first they have great expectations for themselves, but it's also because maybe they never had someone believe in them, believe that they could, so they had to do it for themselves. And when someone grows up never having someone else believe they can do great things, never have them believe that they can do the great things that they want to do, it can lead them to overcompensate by holding themselves to this godlike stature of, I have to be on top of this shit, because no one else is gonna hold me there. No one else is gonna hold me accountable. No one else is going to help me out when I fall. No one else is going to look at me and say, hey, you need to straighten up, I'm going to leave that one there. I really hope if you found this, that this helped you in some way.